Hello, welcome to my room to create. Sharon in South Carolina, coming to you from Connection of Lives and Interest 2020. So I hope you'll all bear with me. This is going to be my first time trying to do a video on how to. Some of you have been showing interest in wanting to try painting, and you're nervous, and I totally understand that. Been there, done that, and there's still things I want to learn, and I'm nervous. But I have friends that are dabbling in some of the things I want to learn, so we're sharing our education and experience with each other, and that's what YouTube's all about. So, to get you started, I wanted to tell you my 101 on getting started. Now, I know that there's probably some professional painters out there that might see this and think what I'm doing is all wrong. And you might laugh and all that, but that's okay. This is my spin on things, and I'm a newbie, and I'm willing to share what I have been learning with everybody that is interested, that shared their interest in what I've been doing. So that's why I'm doing this video. Okay, so I have my cheat notes. First, you have to pick your work surface, your workspace, whether it's going to be in your room that you are able to do your hobbies in, craft space, garage. Some people have a shed outside that they do stuff in. Whatever area you choose, that's your first step, knowing where you're going to do your painting. The next step is to protect your work surface, no matter if it's an old table or whatever. I have, I'll show you every step. An old shower curtain, and I don't use the whole thing. Knocking things over here. I don't use the whole thing. I just cut enough across the bottom of the shower curtain to fold in half and cover my workspace. And I leave it so it's large enough to protect underneath where I'm painting and allowing for space on both sides to protect the entire area. And then I use paper. That if you've watched my other videos, I always utilize and salvage as much of the overflow that drips, because you're going to have drippings underneath your paintings, and I like to save it and decorate my papers. And you can go back and watch my other videos. I'm not going to show that in this video today. But there will be other videos following as I see a need. But right now we're doing the 101 on just getting started. By picking your space, covering your table with ample protection, doing your paper for your overflow paint. Now, for today, I know y'all might not have art paper or whatever. Just use whatever you have. And we can all appreciate decorative writing paper. So, you've got that. And then, as you can see, this is a well-used rack. And I have several for painting on and for drying. I have areas, and that's another thing, you'll want to either be able to leave your painting to dry in the area that you're in, or if you have to use that space for something else after your painting, you need to know where you're going to put your painting to dry, that it won't be bothered by pets or children or anything like that. Now this here, I'm starting off very simple, very basic. These are a pack of 3. I thought they were a pack of 2, but they're a pack of 3 4x6 canvases. I know a lot of times it's deceiving on camera, but these are tiny canvases, and I suggest that you start small. That's the easiest way to do it, but 3 canvases for $1 to start off with, I think, is where everybody should start, especially if you're nervous about it. And in between the canvases, you'll have papers. Keep those papers, because when it's dry, believe it or not, doesn't matter how dry it is, when you stack up your paintings, they will stick together. So you want to go ahead and keep the papers from having them stick together. Okay, so the other thing is, we've done the canvases. Also at Dollar Tree, they have, I don't know which one it is, I think it's this one, but they have paints in a tube. Are you still in line? You are? Okay. They have paints in a tube. I can't tell what you see, but they're the long tubes, like this. You don't want to get the short tube. I call these bottles. You don't want to get these at Dollar Tree, these little bottles. You want to get the long tubes, because this is worth it. I mean, who wants to pay $1 for this when you can get this much in a larger bottle for $1? So that's, and they don't have every color, but Dollar Tree is starting to come out with more and more things. But these little bottles are awesome also. If you want to buy something for 50 cents, these can be found in lots of colors, different prices. They start at 50 cents and they go up to about $3, depending on what you get. And then there's, I always suggest that you get white paint. And again, start with the small bottles at, because I don't think Dollar Tree has white. There is something I did get at Dollar Tree that was white that I didn't really like, so I would stay away from that one. I don't have it handy. I don't know where it is. But I would definitely go with the white in this kind of bottle at Walmart. Okay? But always have white. Black's good to have too, but a lot of times you want to cover the background with white, or if you're going to have areas that you paint without having a surface cover, just start with a dry canvas. You can put white on and then put your colors on and then surround it, and then you'll be covering the canvas that way too. And so I'm losing my notes. Other places you could get paints would be like this white one. I have learned from many YouTubers that you can get paints for a good deal at Hobby Lobby. I just got a bunch of stuff for 50% off. So they have 50% off, 30% off, 40% off, different prices. But this was $2.99 regular price, and then I got it on sale on top of that. And this is an 8-ounce bottle, so that was a good buy. And then I want you to make sure that you have a spray bottle, because I wouldn't get one at Dollar Tree. I would get the packets in the the little travel sections where you can get little bottles for vacation time and stuff. That's where this came from. You'll have usually 1 spray bottle and 2 with just regular caps, which I've got one here. And it's not a waste, because, is that drying? Lesson learned. But that's okay. Can add water and stuff. But anyways, I thought that was going to be safe to store in there. Lesson learned. You're learning something. We'll get into that later. But yeah, you can use these for more paint that's left over, which this has been sitting here for a while, and somehow it has hardened. But then I've got this one, and you can clearly see that it's liquidy. So I guess it just depends on what you got in it. But just remember, you can always add water and different things and more paint, and it will be all right to use. Okay? So the other thing is, I would definitely have some of these little cups because they're great for paints. And those are clean ones I've never used. But I have a whole bunch of them that I reuse over and over and over again. Now to the point where I try to put the same color in the cup that I had. And then you can get a whole bunch of popsicle sticks at Dollar Tree. They're great for stirring your paint. But if you don't want to have popsicle sticks or you forget them, you can always use what you got. That's what I'm all about. You can use straws and you can use, if you have paintbrushes, you can go ahead and use the handle part of the paintbrush for stirring, because remember, everything's washable. And just the other day when I was painting, I needed one more stirrer. And look at, this is just the plastic top of a package that I cut off. And I use that for a stirrer, and then I wash it and I'm using it again. And then most people, I think, have these for barbecues and whatnot. So you can use that. So just kind of look around your house and see what you have. I mean, you could even use a pencil if you wanted to, because everything's washable. Okay, so you've got that. You got your stirrers. And now cells. Cells are things that create color bursts and designs and swirls and marbleization and the fun look into the paints. Like, I'll show you what I did the other day. Do you see that? You get all kinds of different looks in your paintings when you have this added. This looks like flowers underneath. Just all kinds of crazy designs is what you get when you add cells. If you don't have cells, it basically, I think, stays to be more of a solid color. Now you can use, for cells, I started off with regular WD-40. It didn't have silicone in it, but it still made cells. And then we were running low, and my husband wanted to know where his WD-40 was. So I got myself another thing. And it's mine, and it actually has silicone in it. So I didn't even know they had one, and my husband didn't even know that either. So you can do that. And when you do, if you watch some of my others painting videos, I try to do just one small squirt. It's really hard to control, but just do the best you can. There's other things I have not tried, but I thought I'd try it with you all today because we all have dish soap. So I was told, and I've seen some videos, and I can't remember the outcome, but you can use dish soap, and just remember, a dab-a-do. That's all you need. A little goes a long way. Okay, and then I promised one of my subscribers that I would share the exact cell creating thing that I bought. And I believe this one came from, it's been hard for me to find it. I didn't see anything at, now don't look at the price because I got it on sale because I don't want to pay that much. But just remember, it just takes a drop. And I have a little dropper that I bought. And it has a little top, and you can cut the top off to be the smallest hole possible so you can get just one little drop. And again, that goes a long way. And to give you another idea, if you haven't seen my other videos, here's another bottle that has my excess paint. And look at the designs and things that are in this bottle from a mixture of paints because it has silicone in it. Now don't worry about getting all fancy and getting all the stuff right from the get-go. Just use what you have and have fun, okay? Now WD-40 is something that we should all have around the house for squeaky doors and fixing, you know, tight screws and whatnot. So that's a good investment. And then also, this I only have because I've been blessed by many friends with many supplies of things. And this helps thin your paint so that you can work with it more. So if you watch my beginning videos, I do have some globby paintings that I started off with, but then I've learned a lot since, and I still have a whole lot more to learn, but I don't let that scare me. I don't let it keep me away from having fun. So instead of using that, if you don't want to, have your water ready. And you can also have a little bit of water in a cup instead of the spray bottle, or you can have both, which is what I like to do. But I don't seem to have my water today, but that's okay because I don't really need it. Now, some other things that you can use are your own spatulas around the house for spreading your paints or whatever. Or you can do as I did, and I went to Dollar Tree, and they had these together in one pack for $1. Now, other places, you could get them for $4. But who wants to spend that? And you can get them cheap. And then I started out with using this. This was designed to scrape jelly jars to get to the corner of the jars to scrape out every last bit, which, you know me, I like to save. So there you have that. And then I suggest that you either wear old clothes you worry about, or you can use, I have on something that I use in the kitchen, and you can get it at Sally's. It's on the expensive side, but it's something that I needed years ago. So, you know, wear an apron that you don't care about. They have aprons, and they actually have the smocks at Dollar Tree. So check that out. But you want to wear something to protect your clothes. Because I will tell you, I got something on my shirt. I didn't see it. I went into the bathroom and then leaned up against the counter. And there you go. You had paint on you that you didn't know about, and it transferred to my cabinet. So everything's washable. Some things you have to wash right away, others you don't have to worry about it. So make sure that you have something to catch your paint, and then when you want to use up the drippings, you can find any kind of sponge with texture on it, and these are important that you wash them right away. They get stained, it's fine, but yeah, you can dab your surfaces. You can actually use this and decorate your canvas if you want to do that. There's all kinds of different things that you can have fun with, like if you've been watching my videos, and most of you have, I use my balloons a lot. You can use it to dab up the excess paint. And then when you do that, you can create beautiful decorative paper for your crafts, like I have. It's lots of fun. And if you don't have canvas, you can just start off with paper if you want. But just remember, when you have paper, I made a mistake on one of my videos. And it wasn't that I was trying to teach anything. It was just that I was just trying to show the whole process of painting. And I was adding cells to my painting to put on paper. And you don't need cells for paper. So just remember that. If you're going to paint paper, just use paint. Don't use any cell stuff. The cells are for movement of the paint on your canvas. You can, I'll do another video on different things that you can use around your house for fun textures and things. But for now, just to list a few, you can do balloons. You can use your paintbrushes. And this is an old used, but I'm going to use new ones. I have shown videos where I use toothpicks to drag through the paint to make different line designs. That is like one of my favorite things to do. You can also use, and I'm not seeing it, but you can use a funnel. Where did I put my funnel? Did y'all take my funnel from me? I don't see my funnel. I thought I had everything right here. I probably have everything right here so that I can't see anything. Can y'all relate? All right, so we won't do the funnel right now. But there are different methods and techniques. You can take your bottle of paint, if it's thin enough, and that's another thing I'm going to cover. You can spread your paint out directly out of the bottle if it's thin enough. Or you can put it in your cup and thin it out as needed with water. And if you're willing to get this at some point, but not in the beginning, just to have it workable. And then when it's runny, you can go ahead and tilt it. I've got videos where I tilt it and it runs and it makes designs that way. Or one of the very first ones that I did, and I don't remember if I have it on film, you can tilt your cup and you can layer your paint as it's tilted. Put your white in. White is a must. I just believe that white really makes everything better. Do your white, do your next color, then do a dab of whatever silicone cell making thing you're going to use. Another one that I heard about was people were using rubbing alcohol. I'm going to try an experiment with peroxide just to see what happens. But you can layer your paints in the colors that you want, and like every second or third layer of your color, and you can keep repeating until it gets to the end. Depends on your canvas too. You don't want to put too much paint in, and you'll learn as you go how much paint it takes. And I would just suggest that you get more canvases to have ready for the excess if you have a lot, because you don't want your paint to go to waste. But then once it's all up to here, then you would just pour your paint whichever way you want over your canvas. And now another thing is, one of my first ones is you put the paint directly inside this, just laying it like this, and then you put your canvas on top, and then you flip it. And then you let it sit for a little bit because all your paint's coming down. And then you just slowly lift it and your paint goes all over. And then you can let it do its own thing, or you can tilt it to get the coverage you want on the edges. And just keep an eye on your design to see how you're liking how it looks. And you'll learn as you go. We all do. But your thinner paints and your thicker paints work differently, so it depends on what you're doing. If you want a lot of movement for tilting or if you don't. I have learned, I did a video recently with my little blower, my mini blower that I have, and it is powerful, and I have splattered paint everywhere, but that's okay because this is my space. I can do what I want. But what's good that I learned is I can have it less liquidy. I can use the thicker paint for my blower so it doesn't splatter all over, unless we want to have a splattered looking room. Okay, so I'll eventually do different techniques. And another thing I shared with one of you is that you can slow your speed down of videos you're watching, and you can speed them up. And I was shown how to do that by Susie from Susie's Craft Room. And we're all here to learn from each other, help each other, encourage each other. And I plan on doing videos of how to do the things that I have learned to do. So if you don't know, and some of you are shocked that, oh my gosh, I didn't know you could do that. How can I do that? You'll be learning. You'll be learning. I'm going to share. Okay? So for now, I want to tell you about paints. Okay, if you listen to that, you can hear that it's liquidy. Okay? So that I've already got in my cup. And it is very liquidy. Now there's others that are more thick. I'm not going to use this one today because I have one over here. So I'm just going to go ahead and pause this video, and I am going to put my paints in my cups, see where I'm at with my video time, and try to get some painting in for y'all. Okay, so just hold on. I hope you're still there. I'm back. So I just wanted to show you the difference in the paint. That this one clearly is thick. See how it's not dripping off the stick? I'm going to pour it and don't even know it. See, and then try to show you on here. See how it's not watery? So depending on what painting technique you're going to do, you're going to want to add some water from a spray bottle. Or if you don't have a spray bottle, don't sweat it. Just try to get just a little bit of water in at a time. And there's where the stirrers come in handy, and you can see the thickness of where it's at. There's not a lot of movement. So again, depending on what you want to do with your painting, you want to keep adding water. You can always add more, but you can't take the water out. So just remember that when you're adding water, because it can get very liquidy. So right there, that's a good thickness and consistency that I'm looking for my painting. So I have all my paintings in a cup, in cups. I have them all in separate cups. Got them all lined up. And now I'm going to take this and let's see how we do. I'm going to have the white. I think I'll do a little bit. Hopefully you can see this. I'm going to try to do a little dab. Whoop. In the white. Then we've got red. I'm not going to do red. And I think I'll just do every other one. Whoop. And the black. So I'm going to do every other one. And we'll just see what kind of things happen with this one. Okay? I'm all about experimenting, playing, and having fun, and not sweating the load. So, purple without any. Yellow's kind of, see the yellow's kind of thick. So, I'm going to add some water because I want movement for my painting. Because I'll be pouring and having some fun. Okay, so see already how much that has changed. Okay, and this is very watery. I didn't even put anything in it. And we got the black. Let me see, I need more stirrers. Oh, can't find one. I'll use this one. Got to stir in all of them. And now we'll do the white. I was going to say, oh, something got in the white. Well, you know what's in the white? The dish soap. Okay, so here we go. And I want to remind you that you might want to cover your floor. I've been lucky, but you know, that doesn't always happen. And I will tell you, I did get some paint on my floor, my carpet. Not worried about it. Here, let me try to do this the other way. Whoop! Okay, see how it's watery? Yeah, it's got a mind of its own. And I see some things happening. Let me see. I have a whole thing of, excuse me, toothpicks handy. Do you see the movement happening? There's some movement happening. Movement is actually the cells working. Okay? So, I hope this works out good because